Now, this is a big thing that I need your help with, and we get heavily graded on it. So we need to be very careful with these tasks. So basically, the addendums that you had created, I then sent them over. Actually, I need to pause right now. I need to explain to you something. I noticed that the addendums that you were creating, sometimes the address doesn't fit on a whole line. When that happens, convert the page that you're typing on to PDF. And I'll use this one as an example, and then use the typewriter function to typewrite the address, because sometimes, like I said, it just does not fit. The address is just too long. So I had to go ahead, grab them, and I had to type it out, and then I had to type in the address because it was cut off. So make sure you're doing that. But anyway, I should stay in there. So the addendums that you created, I sent them out. This is how they looked. You leave the blue lines. What I do is I print it to my Adobe printer so they can't edit. We do not want those buyers to be able to edit. This is a final document. With that said, I send it off to them and I provide them with instructions. And I have some more to send out today, so I'll CC you in on those instructions so you could see what I'm talking about. However, they have returned it back to me. Now she's saying, just wanted you to inform you buyer's name is still not spelled correctly in the addendum, and our attorney can request to amend that later on. Delay that further at this time. So there's already a problem. The names don't match. So we need to go into Equator and see how the names are typed up. Go to 1400. Now let's see, we click the create contract package that you pulled it from. And it's spelled wrong in Equator, so we have to request a change to the name. So how we do that, so I would forward you this email saying request a buyer's name change. So we go into the property, we see the offers. If you see right there it says dark green 1, and if you hover over it, it says 1 accepted offer. Click that box. It'll pull it open. Now this is the accepted offer. Now click the button underneath it that says edit. And it takes a minute to load. Now if you look, we can't edit it, it's locked. It's a problem with Equator, both buyers' names, buyer 1, buyer 2. What we need to do is go all the way to the bottom, remove those comments, and put please update buyers' names to, and then you can go into the email that I would have forwarded you and then put just copy and paste. And then you hit send to servicer. And once that leaves, we're just waiting for them to approve the name change, and then we can go forward. However, so the buyer's name is obviously different on the addendums than it is on the contract. So we'll need to request that to be different. In the meantime, what we can do is check everything else. So we have this addendum package. Names are wrong, we know that. Fannie Mae on the contract should say seller's name Fannie Mae. That's over here. It should always say Fannie Mae if it says Fannie Mae on the addendums. Now the address 1400 North Lakeshore Drive, Chicago, Illinois 60610. Unit 21-0, okay. Purchase price is $173,900. On the contract it says $173,900. Earnest money $17,390. Over here on the contract $17,390. as is. Now this box right here is important. Nothing can ever be checked. It's an as is sale. If you see it checked, we have to kick it back because it's as is. You have to tell them, remove the check marks on the personal property paragraph and send me back just that page. Now you need to make sure that both buyer's initials are there. Now you see that it's two letters, SD and SG. Now they're not using, if you come over here, they're not using a middle initial. Now if they were using a middle initial, like let's say it's you know, A in the middle of their first name and their last name, they would have to initial SAD or SAG. So we need to make sure that it's only first name, last name, first name, last name. And then the initials are first name, last name. The closing date here says 129. The closing date there says 129. This is cash, so there would be no financing. No financing. And then again, make sure that there are initials at the bottom of each page. Each page. Make sure taxes are prorated at 100% all the time. Sometimes they like to put 105 or 110. It must say 100%. Make sure their initials are there. Nothing changed there. Nothing changed there. Their initials. Each page has their initials. Now they also need to write this pursuant clause. Pursuant to Section 28 of the Real Estate Purchase Addendum, this is contingent, subject to all terms and conditions set forth in the Real Estate Purchase Addendums. And the buyers need to also initial that. So they did. They're good. Initials, 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 initials. Buyers both signed. They didn't type in our information. Now this is one of Tim's deals, so we have to type that in. Key Realty Inc. 18712 201 East Ohio, number 310, Chicago 60611. This is Timothy Bloomquist, 113736. Office phone 312-291-9151. Office fax 312-854-8797. So these are the addendums that are wrong. But so far I'm looking through it and everything else is looking okay. Another thing you need to know is item 10F needs to be initialed. Everything's initialed. Everything there's initialed. Initialed, initialed, signed, signed. So they sent the contract, they sent their addendums, they sent the lead-based paint. Now this is an investor, and I know you remember investors don't need to sign the owner occupancy certification. And this is their proof of funds statement that shows how much money they currently have and that they are able to afford the purchase. They have $333,407.79 in their account, so they're good. The owner occupancy, they included it, but does not intend. So what I'm going to do is delete that page. So we'll get rid of that page, and then we'll save this as 1400 Lakeshore Drive, buyer signed 120. Now the other thing I noticed that they didn't include is a copy of the earnest money check. That was supposed to be in there. So, and you know what? I don't want to risk it. We have to correct the address at the bottom of each page. So what I'm going to do is I'll correct the buyer's name on here, advanced redaction. And I'm sorry if you hear any background noises. I am working today from home. So let's get the correct spelling. Would be SARMILAGOVINDAN and SUNDARAMDORAI. Document extract. Page 1. So then we'll email her back, "Hey Anita, attached is the corrected spelling for page 1 of the addendums. Please have the buyer sign and return. I also noted a few errors. Missing a copy of the earnest money check. The address at the bottom of each page of the contract does not reflect the address on the addendums. It must match exactly. Please send me the corrected contract, initialed page 1 of the addendums with the name change, and a copy of the EM check ASAP. Thanks so much." The other thing, you also included the owner occupancy doc, but we do not need this since it is an investment purchase. I have deleted that page. So then we'll attach page 1. Now, if I would have not proofread that and I would have uploaded it with all those errors, they would have kicked it back and given us an F for the entire assignment, and we've had this property for almost a year. We would have gotten an F just because we couldn't proofread it correctly. So like I said, it's very important that we go through that checklist. I will forward you a copy of the checklist, and then you can go through it then. If you want to start checking them over as I forward them to you, and then you respond saying that you don't see any errors or you notice this, and then I'll double check your double check, and then once I see that you're doing it very well, then we'll just start leaving it completely up to you. So this one will be also a part 1 video, because then when she sends back the corrections, I'll show you how to proofread it again to make sure that there's nothing else, and how to upload the corrected package to Equator for seller's signature. So I'll pause